Y'all bear with me here. Got a couple of announcements. As a reminder, credentials for this week's game against Duke, applications will close at noon on Wednesday. So if you have not applied, please make sure to do so in advance of that deadline. Credential requests are also open for the Florida State game the following week. Those will close the Wednesday of that week at noon Eastern. And also a reminder, for those of you who are YouTube TV customers or have readership who are, as a reminder that the contract with Disney Networks could run out in advance of November 1st. Fans and viewers can learn more at keepmynetworks.com if there is concern about losing ESPN and ACC Network in advance of Saturday. Today's press conference, Coach Swinney will have some opening comments, then we'll go to questions in the room and go to questions virtually at the end if time permits. As always, we're being joined by the audience on Clemson Plus, Fox Carolina on 105.5 The Roar, so we would appreciate it if y'all would speak up so everybody can hear your questions. Coach, when you're ready, take it away.
Does that mean my YouTube TV's not going to work anymore? Just finally figured that whole thing out. I get all kind of stuff on that. I don't have that one. I got YouTube TV. But anyway, good morning. Hope everybody's good. We're ready to get back in the fight around here. Been a good open date for us. Last week was a great week, great prep. Proud of the guys, how they responded, got back to work. Also had an opportunity to go serve last week. We went and spent a day, helping build the Habitat home that's over on Bowman Field there. So that was a great thing. For our guys to be able to experience, and got to meet the homeowner as well. So that was a cool again opportunity for everyone to just go serve. But a good week, good weekend, and we got some guys that were definitely in a better spot today than we would have been had we played this past weekend. From an injury standpoint, I know you guys are going to ask about a lot of people, but we'll put out a report on Thursday and kind of see where we are. We obviously are just coming off one day of practice so far this week, but today and tomorrow we'll ramp it up and really see who's game ready and who's still got some work to do, and then we'll report that on Thursday. But again, proud of our guys. There's been certainly some disappointment this season, but also a lot of positives and things that I've seen within our team. TJ Parker got married last week, so that's an awesome thing. And again, the season hasn't gone the way we wanted it to go this year, but if he doesn't come to Clemson, he doesn't meet his precious wife Asia. So really. Cool moment for him, and congratulations to them. But again, proud of how the guys have gotten back to work, and homecoming this week. I know there's a lot going on there, and we'll go and participate with Tigerama like we always have this week. So hopefully we'll have a good crowd for that. I know we got a lot of rain this week, so I'm not sure how that's going to impact some of the things going on campus. But I know the students are resilient, and they'll figure out a way to make it a great week. But it looks like the weekend is going to be beautiful. So it should be a great day for some football. And as far as our team and our opponent, we've got, I guess, about 33 days left in our season. So it's crazy. It's flown by, and thankful that we still got opportunity to go compete, and thankful that we have an opportunity to still work to be the best version of ourselves, and have an opportunity to go have the best possible finish that we can have. And but it doesn't get any easier. We've got another great opponent coming in here in Duke this weekend. I think one of the best executing offenses in the country, for sure. They really execute at a high level. They play well together, and starts with this quarterback. I mean, he's elite. He is an elite player. I did not know much about him prior to him coming to Duke. Just hadn't seen him very much on tape, but he's a special player. They do a nice job. Again, they're well coordinated, and they execute at a very high level. You give them a patch of grass, they take it. They pretty much got an RPO built into about everything they do. They do a nice job of moving him, on different launch points, whether it be in the pocket, sprint outs, boots off of play action. They take, 5, 6, 7 shots a game. So they're an aggressive offense and an aggressive defense. But just very impressed with how they've played this year. Coming off a tough loss against Georgia Tech, where they turned it over going in on the one, and then had another goal line stop on the one. They had to settle for a field goal. So I know they feel like they maybe missed an opportunity there. But this is, again, really good offense. They play well together up front. Receivers are very good players, very good skill, good backs. And, number 18 for them is probably one of the better receivers that I've seen. He's an elite route runner. He's got great ball skills. 7 and 2 outstanding players. Their tight end 85 is a guy that's very crafty, whether it be setting the edge for his quarterback to get out, or how they use him in the play action game. So just, again, really good offense, 460 something yards a game. They're 18th in the nation, and they're overall 3rd in passing. I think Mensa is 2nd in the nation in passing. So we got our hands full with this group. We got to play well. We got to execute at a high level. We've got to eliminate the big play bus that we had in our last outing. We really have not done that. That's something that we've got to get back on track. We've got to find a way to take the ball away, win the line of scrimmage, and do a good job out on the perimeter against these guys, because they do a nice job of attacking those areas. And then over on the other side, same thing about their offense. Very aggressive defense, 4-down group, downhill linebackers, a lot of man coverage, a lot of tight coverage. They will mix it up, but from an identity standpoint, they're a group that wants to force the issue. So, this will be a team that's coming in here with a really good front. I think 97 and 7 are 2 of the better ends that we've seen. They can get after the passer. 4 inside is one of the bigger, twitchy guys that we've played against. I really like this linebacker group. They got an All-American at corner in Rivers. He's an excellent player. And just a well-coached group. So aggressive all across the board, all 3 phases, and a team that will have to execute at a high level and play complementary football. We've won 2 out of our last 3 games, and in those 2 games we played well, we executed well, we played complementary football, and in our last outing we didn't do that. And so we got another opportunity this week, and that's what it's going to take to win the ball game. With that, I'll take your questions.
Did he practice at all yesterday?
He did.
With the offensive line and some of the injuries there, just talk about the shuffling and some other guys that might have opportunities.
Yeah, it's been frustrating. I mean, again, you look at this group right here that we're getting ready to play. They're a very veteran group up front, but all their backups are. They got 3 freshmen and a sophomore is in their backup group, but they really have had a lot of continuity there. And we've had we've had a lack of continuity for sure, and we've had to mix and match. Tristan has missed a good amount of time. Sadler has had some ups and downs. Obviously, Walker, has been he's been available for a couple games, but really just available, not really 100% version of himself. So I feel like he's going to be closer to that this week. I don't know if Walker's ever 100%, but 85% of Walker's is probably about as good as you're going to get with him. A lot of things that he's dealt with in his career. Elijah, that's been a big piece that we've been missing, but we still got enough, and we've just got to play well together. And we got a great week of practice ahead, and we got to take what we got and we got to make it work. Blake has been very, very steady for us. So we'll see, but hopefully we'll get some good news on Elijah this week as they reevaluate him and for what the rest of the season looks like for him.
And Sadler was pretty good news generally.
Yeah, best case scenario. Best case scenario. I'd say there's a chance. We'll see, but again, big day today, tomorrow, and Thursday, but definitely best case scenario for him and Wesco. Wesco was really scary, really scary injury. And so I'm just thankful. That was a tough Sunday, at the hospital with his family, but he's again, like I said, it was best case, especially compared to what he could have been dealing with, and best case for Sadler too, from what we initially thought on the field. So he's not a long-term situation.
Was Cade a full participant yesterday or limited?
He did everything we asked him to do last night.
Any other questions for Coach?
On an event like that, how much self-scouting do you do kind of when you have that one open week where you give everybody some time off, I'm sure, but, how much self-scouting do you do and, trying to say, hey, we still got time to fix some of these things?
Yeah, I mean, we self-scout ourselves every week, internally, offense self-scout themselves. We got everything's on computer and all that stuff, but then we crossover self-scout every 3 games. That's something that we do, and so certainly took a lot of time last week to do that. Defense really studies our offense studies the defense, and we cross over. Because again, we've done that for years and years around here. It's always been one of the more helpful things, and then we do that to prepare for each opponent too. That's something we do weekly. Our defensive staff studies the opponent's defense, and our offensive staff studies the opponent's offense to give collaboration there. That's how you use your support staff and take advantage of your resources. So I would think most teams do that have the personnel to do it. But definitely a big self-scout, and we've already done it this year. So you kind of go back and you look at what the first self-scout was and how have you done since then? What do you still need to address or whatever? Whether it's personnel or scheme or tendencies, tells, whatever that may be. That's always a part of the process that you go through.
Have you seen a difference in CV, especially the way he played second half, or even broadly across the quarterback room offense, just with the little shot in the arm in the second half?
Yeah, I think that was huge for him. I mean, again, he just hasn't played in a game on the line situation. It's just how it's gone for him last year with as a redshirt freshman, and really his first opportunity was the 2 last year. He got a ton of reps, and so again, we've seen a lot of progress. We practice this game way more than you play it. You don't play the game very often. You practice, 98% of the time, and you play about 2%. So, he's done the work, and he's gotten better. And we've seen it, all throughout. But you want to see him go play, and he just hadn't had a lot of opportunity. Again, a lot of close games last year, and then this year, didn't get off to the start we wanted. Some tight games, and then he got a chance to go play in a 2 out of the last 3 games he's played, but 2 out of the last 3 that we won. When he went in, we pretty much had those games, under control. So not really the stress of game on the line, as opposed to now you got to go start, and you got to battle through the maybe some success, some adversity, whatever in the course of a game. And I thought he did a nice job. I don't think we did a great job of helping him in some areas, but I thought, for this kid to go out there in that situation, and we're 29 of 42 and 4 or 5 drops, and I thought he competed his butt off, and that's people think it's easy. It's not easy to do. The guy hadn't played, so I was proud of him, and I think that's given him a big shot in the arm, because now he's got something he can kind of hang his hat on, and that's tangible, not just something that he can go watch a great practice tape and a great team pass period or a great Skelly period or a great scrimmage, that nobody else sees. He's got something that he can Google, and so that's a different feeling for him. I think that gives him some confidence. He's a young player, and proud of him.
Dabo, you mentioned that Wesco flew to Pittsburgh to see a doctor up there. Just curious, was that the same neurosurgeon that performed the surgery on Justin several years ago?
Yeah, Dr. Okonkwo, a really sharp guy. He's a guy. Dr. Kanos here in Greenville, who's amazing. And I think both of those guys collaborated. And so you just want to make sure that you got the same information, and the message was basically the same from both doctors. They're all on the same page, and so I think they've got a good plan going forward on what he needs to do. And like I said, I think everybody realizes he's a very fortunate guy, because it could have been a lot worse. And it's not a situation like Justin. Justin had a fracture. Mike Williams had a fracture, and Justin was a completely different, totally different situation. But again, best case scenario for him. And he's doing good. But he went up with his dad yesterday and our trainers, and so they've got a good plan going forward. And again, I hate it that he can't play this season. And we'll be very cautious with him in the spring. Anticipate him being able to do everything as far as training and running and all that type of stuff. But we won't let him. They'll keep him from any type of contact and that type of stuff until he's ready to go next fall. So everything is positive at this point, but he's still got to go through his process of what he's got to do to get back and cleared to go play football.
The announcement was just made about the possibility of the Palmetto Bowl being on Black Friday instead of the traditional Saturday. What do you think about that change?
Say that again?
Yeah, the Palmetto Bowl might be on Black Friday now instead of the traditional
This year?
Saturday. Not this year.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
upcoming year.
I mean, I don't know. They've asked me about that here many times. I've always voted for it on Saturday here. That's my vote for a lot of reasons that I won't get back into. We just need to beat Duke this week. But if they want to move it, that's up to them.
Jaden Lucas didn't play any defensive snaps last game. Where's kind of he at in rotation-wise?
Yeah, just competing every day, and I thought, Ashton played well. I thought Avion played well. I thought both of those guys, honestly, they both of them have had 3 really good games in a row. I think they're playing, at a high level for us right now. And especially Ashton has kind of really settled in and is playing with a lot of confidence. So it's been good, but just, nothing other than just, I guess Mike just didn't put him in last week, with how those guys were playing.
At safety, what's been the biggest obstacle to getting more of the depth sort of going and in the rotation?
Biggest obstacle, just, they're just playing the guys they think give us the best chance to win. That's really it.
Deeper into the season, is there anyone that's maybe behind the scenes starting to stand out as someone that could maybe help this program down the road?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got several of those guys. Talked about 2 of them last night in Blanchard and Brooking. Those are 2 guys that we think are going to be good players for us that we've held. We've seen some good things from some of these other young guys around here. We like our some of y'all, y'all have seen. I mean, Bentoncourt's just a redshirt freshman, but we certainly think he's got a bright future ahead. Logan Anderson is a kid that he's a kid that we think has a chance to be a good player. Not many people know much about. So we got several guys like that all throughout the roster.
You said on your radio show yesterday that you wish some of the younger running backs got into the rotation a little bit more. I guess what was preventing them, from getting more snaps out of you? Yeah,
probably didn't do a good job of managing the reps, And again, I think sometimes coaches get caught up into the moment and just got to do a better job of really committing to just the rotation at this point, because we feel like those guys can go play. Early in the year, a little different situation. But now where we are, I mean, these guys have demonstrated that they can go and they know what they're doing, and we just got to do a good job of going into it with a good rotation in mind and committing to it.
DJ Moore coming off the best game of his career, obviously had a bit of a slow start to the year. What's been the key to him progressing over the course of the season?
Just development. I mean, Grish has done a great job with that group all across the board. All those guys have developed well. From Antonio Williams, I think his kid is coming here and really developed into a star. I mean, Antonio is a elite player. That was Grish's first signing class. Antonio, Cole, and Adam, and obviously Adam has transitioned into a different role, but Tyler Brown has developed all those guys. So it's just being in the process of development. He's a second-year player. Got some really good experience as a freshman, had some big moments, had a few growing pains too. I think he's just, maturing with his understanding of not just receiver play, but the big picture of offense and also understanding of defense and how people are trying to, what they're trying to defend, So he's just a smarter player, more mature guy, and still got work to do, but proud of him. He's developing nicely.
Where is Juju Preston, I guess, in his development with Wesco out? Where is he in his development coming along with the rest of the receiver group?
He's in the crock pot. He's cooking. He's one of those guys that I would, whoever asked me the question, guys, he's one of those guys that we see flash at practice. And, I know he looks like this microphone, but he's put on 15 pounds. He's really developing. He was a very, very skinny kid when he showed up here, very, very underdeveloped physically, but that's never affected him. Like, he's always played big. He's always played strong, even though he really isn't big or strong. But he's really developing. I've been proud of Juju. He's one of those guys that I think when he showed up here, you could tell he was a little overwhelmed. He I don't know if he's going to really buy into what he's got to do, what this thing's going to take, because I think he's just been one of those kids that's always shown up and he's just better than everybody. He's just better than everybody. Even though he's weaker than everybody, he's smaller than everybody, he's still better than everybody. That's just kind of been what his story's been, but he's bought in. Like, he's been one of the best guys in Power Hour. We do what we call Power Hour all through fall. It's one of the key, I think, aspects of developing these guys, and he's doing some good things. So, and hopefully he'll have a chance to maybe, get some snaps somewhere, throughout the rest of the season. We've got 5 more games, and in the regular season here, and obviously again he hasn't played. He can play in 4 of them, but he's been hurt a lot, since he got here. He's had hamstrings and different things, but he's practicing and competing, and again, he's a kid that. The arrow's up by his name. I mean, he's, again, a little over 15 pounds that he's put on, and he's attacked the weight room. And again, you see him, you'd be like, yeah, right, but you should have seen him when he got here. So he's in the crock pot and making progress, but one of those guys that I think if he sticks with it, he'll be a good player.
Just a bigger picture question, just some of these coaches that have been let go in the middle of seasons with $50 million buyouts. What does it say about the state of college football right now? All of this has been occurring?
I mean, it's a season of chaos. I mean, that's for sure. It's the world we live in. It's crazy profession we signed up for, but as I said last night, it's hard. You got a lot of really, really good football coaches that have won a lot of games, but they're getting fired because they haven't really won championships. And then you got others who people want you fired even though you've won some championships. So it's kind of a crazy world, and it's the world we live in. And you just, it's like a blood sport. Everybody's, loves to see people get fired, I guess. There's a part of society that likes to see that stuff, but it just is what it is, man. I mean, it's what we signed up for, and it's all about the playoff and all that type of stuff, and got to find a way to win. You don't get much time anymore. Not many of those. I think what John Wooden was, 17 years before he won a championship. So you ain't gonna get much time anymore. You got to win quick.
Has there been a focus in the off week to ramp up the running game more?
Yes, absolutely. That's what we did. We're just really poor in our last game. We just did a poor job of helping CV. And when we did try to run it, we didn't do a good job with it. We didn't play well inside, and just I didn't think we did a good job, putting it together. So definitely an area we need to improve. And again, it's not about rushing for 200 yards. It's about being efficient. Like the group we're getting ready to play, they're 82nd in the country in rush offense, but they're a lot better than 82nd in the country in rush offense. They're 82nd in the country in rush offense because they're third in the country in passing, and it's because of their RPO game. I'm sure their offensive line coach is not happy because there's a lot of handoffs that would be there, but they're taking the patch of grass that you give them. You give them 5 yards, they take it, and so it's just all built in. And so again, it's just about being efficient to me. I mean, we're doing a lot of good things in the passing game. We've thrown the ball well, not elite, but well. But we've not running the ball with the type of efficiency that we need to be the type of balanced, explosive offense that we want to be.
When you look at Duke, are there similarities, particularly like, I don't know, when they give up big plays and things like that, to the way they attack, like to SMU or maybe to some of Manny's defenses in the past from Miami that you've seen?
You talking about SMU's offense?
Duke's defense.
Oh, Duke's defense.
As opposed to SMU's defense, you guys just think.
Yeah, they're different. They're downhill. If you watch these guys, when the ball snapped, they're downhill. It's even when you drop back, they're downhill. These guys are coming off the ball, they're running. Again, they mix up their coverages, but if you really break them down, they're going to be some type of one high, and they're going to challenge you. It's going to be tight coverage, and you've got to execute with precision. And so they're going to get after you and try to stop the run. They're very committed to that, and they're committed to rushing the passer. It's a similar defense to, I think, what he's played, his whole career. They do a good job of disguising, but and then again, they'll get into some two safety stuff as well. But when it's all said and done, there's going to be good bit of 5-man pressure and some type of tight coverage.
Seems like they're pretty disruptive on the horizontal stuff too.
Yeah. Again, tight coverage. They don't give you a lot of open access. So you got to execute. You got to throw with precision. You got to win the line of scrimmage. You got to protect.
Can you get Tyler Brown going a little bit more?
Say that again?
Tyler Brown, just to get him going a little bit more this season.
Probably Antonio graduating. That'd probably be the first thing. There's only one ball. Tyler has had a heck of a year when he's had his opportunities, but I think obviously with Wesco being down, that's going to create more opportunity for TB and certainly for Tristan and Cole. But he plays our slot, and we got a pretty good guy there in Antonio. But we can't keep him forever. We got to. Again, I think too when we've gotten in rhythm of offense, you've been able to see all those guys have opportunities.
In this environment that you're talking about earlier with coaching situations, is any coach safe anymore who's not regularly making the playoffs and making a championship run? The years of winning 8 games, 7 games, 8 games, going to bowl games, but not making the playoffs, is that going to put every coach in jeopardy? With their administration?
Yeah, I think it's similar to the NFL in that regard. I would think so. Again, I'm very fortunate here because I've been the head coach 17 years. Not 2 years, not 4 years. We've got a long track record, but that doesn't mean. That doesn't mean they can get rid of me tomorrow. That's just part of it. You got to win, and you got to. You got to win your fair share. I think, but I do think it's unrealistic if you fire your coach every year because they don't make the playoff. There's 136 teams, I think, or 135 for 12 spots or whatever. It's hard. There's 17 teams playing for one championship in this league. We've won it 8 out of 10 years. We're not going to win it this year, but we've won it 9 times. We've had a lot of opportunity, but. There's a lot of great coaches that have won a bunch of games that are losing jobs. really, really good coaches. Maybe because they haven't won a championship, but how many people have won championships? It's hard. I mean, there's not many coaches that have won championships. There's not many. So if you're going to just fire your coach every year they don't make a championship or be one of the 12 out of 136, you're going to have a lot of turnover. And it's going to be hard to have a program. But that's decisions that coaches don't make. Those are decisions that administrators make. And but to answer your question, yeah, I mean, I would say that's just the way of the world. Depends on who the leaders are. You know, depends on what they're made of. You know, who's making those decisions. You know, how much they really believe in the people that they've hired and et cetera. Because it's a process, and football's hard. I mean, it is. I mean, it's just a very fine line. You know, it's a few plays. It's a ball bouncing one way or another. It's momentum. It's confidence. It's belief. It's injuries. I mean, it's maybe good play at certain spots versus maybe not playing as well. There's a lot of things that go into it, and I think you can make some quick judgments and set yourself back. So some people will be patient, and some people won't. I mean, I look at Tony Elliott right now. They've had 3 losing seasons in a row, and man, I look at them now. But they've hung in there, and they've stayed the course. And there's a process to it. But again, I don't know how many people will be patient with the process. So, yeah, probably so.
Do you think people around here are patient?
Absolutely. I mean, Frank Howard was here. How long was Frank Howard here? 30. I think Ross told me he had, 11 seasons where he started out 1-3 or worse. I'd say they were pretty patient. I probably won't get 11. I probably wouldn't get 3. But, you know, absolutely. Clemson people are very loyal, committed people, very, very patient. Certainly, they were patient with me. I mean, we won 9 my first year and went to the championship, but we won 6 my second year. 6. We lost 5 in a row to the Gamecocks, and they were patient with me. So absolutely, I mean, they've been very, very patient. Hasn't always been perfect here. We didn't win. We won the championship in 11. We didn't win it. We won it again in 15. So Clemson people are incredibly patient.
So you wouldn't worry about another off year next year where you
I don't worry about anything, man. I give everything to the good Lord. I don't spend my time worrying about things that I don't control. I just do my best every day. So I don't wake up and worry. The good Lord is orders my steps, and what He has for me, He has for me. Always has been. So I don't. When I got fired at Alabama, I mean, I knew God had a plan then, and you know that ain't nothing changed. So I don't worry about things I don't control. I just do my best every day. I do my best. I try to live my life in a way that, you know, hopefully I can serve other people, help people. I love what I do. I love coaching. I love teaching. But I don't sit around and worry about stuff that I have no control over. I just do my best each and every day.
So when you refer to people who are talking about you getting fired, are you talking about like the national?
Yeah, just random people. I'm sure there's a lot of them out there, you know. But I mean, that's just the way of the world, right? For everybody, every coach, not just me. That's every coach out there.
Do you think part of it's the misconception maybe that you can just turn everything over to the transfer portal really quickly, and so get rid of a coach, bring in a new coach?
I don't know. I mean, I'd say just society. We have a world now that just is loud. It's really loud if you listen to it, but I don't participate in that.
In the fraternity of head coaches, how often do you have conversations with other head coaches about the current state of affairs in college football, and obviously the firings going on, and maybe just even offering support?
All the time. You know, all the time. It's one of the, we don't have, you know, there's not many peers in this profession. You know, so got a lot of friends in this business. You know, one of my favorite things to do every year, I spend a week with about 18 head coaches in February. That's one of my favorite things to do every year. And we solve a lot of problems every year. That, you know, it makes us feel better, you know, for a minute. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to really understand the totality of this job when you haven't done it. And so, you know, there's a lot of people that are in coaching and out of coaching that, you know, that I talk to all the time, or they reach out to me. So it's just part of it. And listen, we've been incredibly blessed here. I mean, I know we're in a tough season right now, but we've had a lot of great years. I mean, we've had a lot of great moments, a lot of joy, a lot of amazing moments. Ain't nothing different other than this one hadn't gone the way we wanted to, or the way we worked for it. Because we really have this team has done the work, and it just hadn't worked out the way we wanted it to. And it's my responsibility to to get the team to be what they can be, and it just hadn't worked this year.
With the Diego Pavia lawsuit about junior college eligibility, maybe striking that, it's now opened up to a class action. Is that something that you guys have talked about with Tristan? Do you know where he is on that, or maybe trying to get that year?
Absolutely, for sure. And you know, I mean, I think he deserves it. I don't know how he couldn't, based on some of the precedents that's out there for this kid. So I think he played very few snaps at all, hardly any snaps at all as a freshman JUCO guy. So it would, to me, be a shame for him not to have the same opportunity that some of these other kids have had. So yeah, we definitely want to do all we can to support him in that.
Regarding all of this coaching talk in your time here at Clemson, I have to thank Tim Murray for this note. With Brian Kelly out, you're now the second winningest active coach in college football behind Kirk Ferentz. Did you ever foresee a time when something like that would be said about you? And what does that say about your longevity here?
Well, it's good to know. It's good to hear. We've actually won some games. Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing. I mean, it's just God's plan for my life. I mean, I'd like to say it ain't nothing I've done. I mean, it's just the good Lord's put the right people in my life, great players. I mean, I never in a million years, when I became the coach here, would have even dreamed that, you'd be the winningest coach in an ACC or a Clemson or anything like that. That's never been something that just not even thought about it, honestly. I mean, I just go to work. Put my head down. You look up and you go, dang, been head coach 4 years. Dang, you've been head coach 10 years. I just go to work. I just don't even think about it. But that's just God's plan, and God gets all the credit for that. I mean, I've just done my part, but I've had just great players, great coaches, so many people, unbelievable support and administration, and that's again just God's plan for me. And I'm blessed with that. I'm thankful for that. But also I'm encouraged by that. I mean, it's, especially when you have a tough season, but this isn't the first I've had a lot of tough moments in my life. I mean, I've had a lot of failure. I'm built from failure. I'm built from painful situations. That's how I'm shaped as a human. I'm shaped by disappointment. I'm shaped from pain. I'm shaped from failure. But that's why I've been successful. Because when you get in situations like this, you just stay the course, and you have confidence, even though maybe nobody else around you does. You have confidence because you've lived it. And so for me, I relish these opportunities because I'm getting a chance to do what I love, and that's to teach. I love to teach. I love to communicate. I love to mentor, and I love to use the game to build and equip great young men. And that's what I think I'm best at. And I love that part of it. So this is one of those, we hadn't had many of these opportunities. I mean, we've had some, and just in my time at Clemson, so 23 years, I mean, we talk about, we need a great November. Like we got to find a way to have a good November around here. And then we start over. Every year we start over. We count them up. We start over. We attack the next year, and let's rally the troops and charge back up the hill. That's what we do. It's what we've done forever, and we'll do that again. But right now, man, we got to find a way to win Tuesday. We got to find a way to beat Duke. You know, we got to find a way to go finish. But man, I mean, my first year here, you know, 03. I mean, we lost 45-17 at Wake. I mean, that was a long. And I remember specifically because I drove. Kath drove up, had all the boys in the car seats, drove up to Winston. I'd never been to Wake Forest, and we drive up there. And I mean, Tim, you remember that? I was like, this ain't good. We're 5-4. We get destroyed on Thursday night. We think we're getting fired. Friday came, me and Billy, I'll never forget it because I'm like, me and Billy were supposed to go recruiting that day, and I'm like, I guess we're going recruiting. You know, I don't know. It wasn't good. And but Billy and I went up and we were recruiting a kid up in North Carolina, walking around. It was kind of like we came back and we're like, okay, I guess we're good. Saturday, we didn't have anything on Saturday, which was kind of a cool day for me because I went and both Will and Drew got baptized that Saturday. And then Sunday, we're back over in the office and like we're good, and then Monday comes and 7 a.m. staff meeting, and I actually had the devotion that day, but then about 10:30 that day, it's a coaching change, right? And nobody saw it coming, not from us, us coaches. We're just kind of on about our business and think we're good, but, kind of the backstory, of all that stuff. I mean, we lose 45, it ain't good. And honestly, we probably wouldn't have made it if we weren't playing Florida State the next week, and it was the Bowden Bowl and all that stuff. But we're playing, what were they, number 2 or 3 in the country, undefeated, 9-0, on their way to a national championship. We just lost 45-17 to Wake Forest. No way we're winning that game, right? Like, let's just kind of, go play this game. But guess what happened? We had a group of people that didn't quit. We had a group of people that continued to believe. We had a group of people that came together and still had faith in the end of the story. And we won 27-10. And it was like one of the greatest moments I've been a part of ever in this deal, because no way are we supposed to win that game. But, man, Charlie Whitehurst went off, right? We got Tommy Sharp. He's like 260-pound center, this tall, and we're blocking freaking Darnell Dockett. I don't even know who them guys were. I mean, they had just dudes everywhere. I mean, Derek Hamilton, Kevin Youngblood, Aries, Tony, Chad Jasmine. I mean, we just got hot, right? Like, that's why it ain't ever too late to become the best version of you, and we just got hot. And that one moment, all of a sudden now we play Duke the next week. And I think we beat them 40-6. And now it's like, well, okay, we went from 5-4, we're 7-4, and now we got to go play the Gamecocks. And that was the 63-17, my first Carolina game. Next thing you know, you go from getting fired, you're in the Peach Bowl. And we're playing, what was Tennessee, number 6, 7, 8, and we smoke them. So we go from 5-4, getting fired, to 9-4. Coach Bowden gets Coach of the Year and a new 5-year contract. And I got to stay at Clemson. I got to move in my house, all because a group of people finished. And they hung in there, and they didn't let, the failure define them or destroy them. We let it develop us, and we kept hanging in there. And that's life. That's life. That's the lessons that you get from this game. That was 03, and then in 08, I had a 3-4 football team with 5 games to play in November. And we went 4-1, somehow, some way, and got the job. And then a couple years ago, what were we, 4-4 in 23? And we went 4-0 in November and had a 5-game winning streak, and that kind of gave us some juice into last year's championship run. So you just got to keep going, man. You keep the faith, you keep believing, you focus on what you control, and you just battle. You just battle with everything you got, and you just keep getting up. Dust off, go again. Dust off, go again. And if you do that enough in life, sooner or later you'll break through. That's in anything you do.
In terms of finding that final push to get those next 3 wins to hopefully get a bowl game, is that kind of the mentality still? I mean, I know at the beginning of the season it was win the one. Does that still stand?
Absolutely. Truly win the one. I mean, absolutely. That's been a good word for us. And that's really the mindset. I mean, there's a lot. We're not going to win the league this year. We're not going to win the playoff this year. We've been 7 times in the last 10 years. Alabama's the only team to go more. So those aren't going to happen. But, man, we can win November. We can, just have a freaking blast playing for Clemson. We can relish in the relationships that we have here. We can enjoy these 33 days that these guys have a chance to all, compete together. We can fight for these seniors. There's a lot that we can do. And that's what you got to focus on. I mean, yeah, we've got one of the longest postseason eligibility streaks in college football history. So there's so much out there, and that's what you got to focus on. What we still can do, and again, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Now, so you can focus on all the bad, and that's where your energy is going there too, or you can focus on what is good, and there's a lot of good. We got a lot of great young men on this team. We got a bunch of guys that care, and hey, we're going to battle it all the way to the end. We'll battle every day. We'll battle today all the way till there's no more opportunity to play. That I can promise you.
Take one more for Coach if anybody has one.
Coach, a lot is made of your first win at Boston College, but your first home win was against Duke, I think 31-7. Memories from that, and just going into that game and getting a win at home.
Yeah, we lost. I guess I'm destined to lose on October 18th. If we could just not schedule a game ever again on that day, we just opt out of that. I am freaking over. Have I had another game on October 18th, or was that only the second one? I don't know.
1-14.
All right, so I'm 1-2. I don't have a good track record on the 18th, but I'm pretty good on the first. So hopefully we can repeat that, and we can put those two things together. We're playing on the first, and we're playing Duke home game. Maybe we can put it together. That'd be awesome. And we're going to have to play really, really well to get that done, because this is a team playing with a ton of confidence and executing at a high level. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I remember, that was a critical win for us. Again, we went 4-1 in November. If we don't go 4-1 in November, somebody else is here right now. I don't know where I'm at, but I'm not at Clemson. So again, just God's plan. He took something that was really tough and bad in the moment and made it something great. And thankful for that.
Actually won at Boston College in 2014 on October the 8th.
Yeah, because it was Boston College. It was my first ever win, so that trumped the October 18th at Boston.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thanks.